Hello, I'm Pastor Yu, exploring the Bible land. In the last video, we discussed about the construction of Caesarea and Herod the Great. If you not watch it, we strongly recommend that you watch it first and return to this video. In this video, we will take you to the Roman theater and Herod, who eaten by worms and died. This is the entrance to Caesarea National Park. After entering, you will see the National Park model on your left. This model shows the size and figure of the entire National Park. We recommend that you first visit the tent-shaped theater, which overlooks the front beach. Here, you will see a film that visually explains the time track of Caesarea's history. If you advance, you will be able to watch movies with your language or subtitles. I highly recommend this film. Now, let's look at the theme of this video, the Roman theater. First, I have a question. What is a Roman theater? The fact that there is a Roman theater means that there is non-Roman theater. There are two styles of ancient theater, the Greek style and the Roman style. The word theater is from the ancient Greek theatron. It is a compound word between the word theomai, which means to sing and to watch, and the word tron, which means tool. That is why a theater means a place to sing and to watch. First, the Greek theater, made on a hillside or a slope, so it's relatively large scale. The actors sang and performed in the orchestra, not on the stage, and mainly made next to the temple. 2. The Roman theater, made by the technique of concrete, therefore not on a hillside or a slope. The actors sang and performed on the stage, not in the orchestra. So the stage is higher and the scene fronts, which is the back wall of stage, has developed. By the way, these two styles had a common point. They are made in a semicircular shape. The biggest advantage of this shape is its acoustic effect. The sound of a play or a song must be delivered evenly to the audience. So the best style is the semicircular structure. Now you know what is theatron. Let's sum up all the types of ancient recreation facilities. The first one is a theater or theatron. As I've explained, it's semicircular form, and the purpose is to watch songs and plays. The second one is an amphitheater, where gladiator games are played. With the prefix amphi, which means round, this facility is called amphitheatron or amphitheater. It does not purpose to deliver the sound. Therefore, this facility is not a semicircular form, but a circular form. Because the purpose of amphitheater is to enjoy entertainments for many people at the same time. Roman concrete technology makes this form possible. The best example is the Colosseum in Rome. The third one is a hippodrome. This is the place for racing horses or chariots. It's a compound word between the word hippo, which means horse, and the word dromos, which means course. Therefore, this facility is called hippodrome. Horses and chariots have to race, so it's very big and long. There should be a lot of spectators, so the stand for spectators is huge. There were three types of the ancient recreation facility. In Caesarea, the Roman theater and the hippodrome are still remained. Caesarea's Roman theater was built by Herod the Great, and it is the first Roman theater built in Israel. The total diameter was about 100 meters and could accommodate 4,000 people. There was also a shade screen for the audience. Now, let's take a look at the biblical events. associated with this Roman theater. Let's read Acts chapter 12, verse 19 to 23. After Herod had a throat searching made for him and did not find him, he cross-examined the guards and ordered that they be executed. Then Herod went from Judea to Caesarea and stayed there a while. On the appointed day, Herod, wearing his royal robe, sat on his throne and delivered a public address to the people. They shouted, "This is the voice of a God, not a man." Immediately, because Herod did not give praise to God, an angel of the Lord struck him down, and he was eaten by worms and died. In this text, King Herod is not Herod the Great. This man is the grandson of Herod the Great. His name is Herod Agrippa I. He was the first man who received the title of king after Herod the Great. Herod the Great could not tolerate the people who challenged his position. When his wife Miriam was suspected, although she was his beloved, he executed her. Herod the Great had two sons between Miriam. When they wanted to avenge their mother's death, Herod the Great executed them also. There was one small problem. When Herod the Great executed his two sons, one of the two, Aristobulus, had a son. His name is Herod Agrippa I. Therefore, Herod the Great sent his grandson to Rome, like a parachute kid. Agrippa I was educated with the emperor's children in Rome. As a result of this, he was well acquainted with the Roman emperor family. During the time of Emperor Tiberius, Agrippa I was close to Gaius. This Gaius later became emperor and is known to us as Caligula. In one day, Agrippa I rode on a horse with Gaius. He said like this, "I hope that the old Tiberius will die quickly and Gaius will be emperor soon." A man who hears this informed it to Emperor Tiberius. Emperor Tiberius was very upset. He imprisoned Agrippa I with his dress in purple. Unexpectedly, Agrippa I became a felon with other prisoners. One day, he stood and leaned against a tree in deep despair. Suddenly, a bird flew into the tree he leaned. The Romans called this bird bubo, which is a kind of owl. Then, one of the prisoners, a man from Germania, prophesied about Agrippa I. "You will soon be released from prison, and you will be free, and you will have the highest honor and power. This blessing will pass to your children. However, if you look at this bird again, you will die within 5 days." Shortly after this happened, Emperor Tiberius suddenly died, and Agrippa I was released. Furthermore, his best friend Gaius is placed as Emperor of Rome. That is to come through the Epaphras of Germanian prisoner. Since then, Agrippa I has enjoyed great authority and wealth under the title of Emperor's friend during Gaius' reign. Emperor Gaius seated Agrippa I in the unoccupied position for several years after the death of Philip the Tetrarch. The other Tetrarch, Antipas, dissatisfied when the Emperor Gaius made Agrippa I become one of the Tetrarchs. And then Gaius dethroned Antipas and gave Antipas territory to Agrippa I. Now, Agrippa I had much more territory and more power than Philip or Antipas. Unfortunately for Agrippa I, Emperor Caligula ruled only 4 years, a short period between 37 to 41, and died. However, even when the next emperor, Claudius, rules, Agrippa I still has his power. Not only he ruled the entire area of Judea, but he has also received the official title of king by the Emperor Claudius. So, the first time after Herod the Great, he has the title of king. Agrippa I became a special figure who enjoyed extraordinary power and wealth from Emperor Tiberius to Caligula and even Emperor Claudius. Let's read Josephus' Jewish Antiquities, volume 19, verse 343 to 350. Compare it to the Bible we had read. After 3 years of rule over all of Judea, King Agrippa came to Caesarea, formerly known as Stratos Tower. King Agrippa entered the theater at dawn, dressed in a colorful dress made by pure silver. As the sun was shining, a mysterious light erupted from the silver garment. Those who looked at the light felt strange fear and wonder. And then the people began to shout everywhere, calling King Agrippa a god. However, this was not good for the king, but the King Agrippa I did not rebuke them and not stop them. At the moment, he raised his head and looked up, and he saw a bull sitting. He suddenly grabbed his stomach with a strong pain, and for the next 5 days, he was constantly in a pain. He died. The King Agrippa I died at the age of 54, and 7 years after he was on the throne of Judea. It's so similar to Acts chapter 12. In the Bible, he was just referred as King Herod. However, if you compare Joseph's Jewish Antiquities with Roman history, you can guess who King Herod is in the Bible. He is Agrippa I. The Bible only says that Caesarea and the specific location was unknown, but Josephus told us this event happened in Caesarea's Roman theater. The Bible says he just dressed in a royal robe, but Josephus gave a more specific description that he wore on a silver cloth. Let me introduce you another amazing suggestion. There is Kidron Valley between the Mount of Olives and the Mount of Temple in Jerusalem. In this valley, you can see a magnificent stone pillar called Absalom's Pillar or the Tomb of Absalom. Since 2007, Professor Gabriel Barkay began to suggest that this stone pillar may have been the tomb of Agrippa I. I think we should be considering this theory because his proposal could be reasonable. If it turns out to be the tomb of Agrippa I, there will be another historical milestone in biblical interpretation and biblical history. In this video, we discussed about Caesarea's Roman theater and the death of King Herod Agrippa I. In the next video, we will take about Herod's promontory palace and the Roman governor's building in Caesarea. We will see you in next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.